Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
Sai. Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajananandana Yashodanandana Brajajananandana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Punya Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari सदस्यमान भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गौ गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप धाम की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। ब्रह्मा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। देवी की जय। स्वामी तो भक्तवृंद की जय। All glories to the Assembly Lord. All glories to the Assembly Lord. Thank you very much.
We have to wait for the speaker. He's not yet here. Few minutes.
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Yeah, they would.
From the Nectar of Devotion series, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded between October 20th and November 14th, 1972, in Vrindavan, India.
So, by this devotional process, adu saddha tato sadhu sangha, that love, sadhukanam ayam premna pradudbhavi bhavet krama. There are stages or steps one after another. If we practice sadhu sange sato vritte sarabhi bhakti prasiddhati, Sri Rupa Goswami says that potent love for Krishna can be reinstated again, invoked again by the prescribed method. Sadhu sange sato vitte sarabhi bhakti prasiddhati. Utsaha dhajya nishchaya. When you get little taste of love of Krishna, just like we are sitting here, we have got little taste for loving Krishna. Otherwise, why we should waste our time in this way? This is called saddha. So, this saddha is also invoked by association with sadhu, devotees. Then, if we little become enthusiastic, just like you have become utsaha. You have left your country, everything, and you are going everywhere, coming with me, not for any material profit, but for increasing your Krishna consciousness. This is called utsaha, enthusiasm. Our whole Krishna consciousness movement is depending on this enthusiasm. Just like I went to a country at the age of 70 years, nobody goes out of home, but there was enthusiasm. Yes, I must go. And because I went, there is something, you have got the information. Similarly, enthusiasm is the basic principle. Adu, utsaha, dhairya, by patience. Not that I am working so hard for Krishna, but I am not getting any impetus. No, don't be impatient. Krishna will give you chance. He is giving chance always, 24 hours, imperceptibly. But we cannot appreciate very much. Krishna sees as far as we are able, according to our strength. He gives responsibility. But we must be rest assured, when we have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, fully, without any reservation, Krishna must be pleased. Maybe it will take some time. This is called nishchaya, certainty, assurance. Utsahat dhajyat nishchayat tat karma pravartanat. You have to execute the routine, prescribed duties. Tat karma pravartanat. You cannot go against the principles of devotional service. With patience you must execute. Tat karma pravartanat. Sato vritte. Sato vritte means dealings must be very honest, no duplicity, very frank, plain. Sato vritte sadhu sange, and in association of devotees. Sarabhi bhakti prasiddha. In this way, our propensity of love for Krishna will increase. Similarly, there are other 6 methods. Prajalpa niyamagraha, atyahara prayasascha prajalpa niyamagraha, janasangascha, laulam janasangascha sarabhi bhakti pranasat. Atyahara, eating or collecting more than necessity. That is uttahara. Ahara means eating and collecting. Ahara. So, we should not collect more than what we need. Krishna is giving us. Just like we are spending so much money in all our centers, so Krishna is sending us the necessary expenditure, how we are maintaining. So, but we should not be hankering after collecting more than what is necessary. That is uttahara. Similarly, we should not eat more than what we need for maintaining the body and soul together. Atyahara prayasa. Prayas. We should not endeavor for anything which requires too much anxiety. That is called prayas. Atyahara prayasa. Automatically, by Krishna's grace, whatever comes, that's all. Atyahara prayasasta prajalpa. Talking unnecessarily nonsense. Just like people waste their time talking 3 hours on some political situation. You see? They have got enough time to discuss newspaper, but when they are invited to our class, they find no time. So we should not waste our time, a single moment. Time is very valuable. In your country they say time is money. So either you take money, that is artha, or paramartha. Money is required in the material world, and spiritual world, paramartha, spiritual asset. Somehow or other, even those who are materialists, they do not waste their time. So we are after spiritual realization, how we can waste our time. Time is very valuable. So we should not waste time. Prajalpa niyamak, janasangas. And associating with ordinary persons who are not devotees. Janasang. People in general, they have no taste for Krishna. And greediness, low lung, these things are impediments for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Sarabhi bhakti, niyamagraha. Niyamagraha means simply busy to follow the rules, but actually do not understand what is the meaning of such following. Not blindly, one should follow regulative principles with firm conviction and understand. Niyam agraha, niyam agraha. Agraha means eagerness to accept, and agraha, not accepting. In both ways, niyama agraha. Not to accept the regulative principle, that is also faulty. And too much agraha, false agraha, without knowing the meaning of it, that is also faulty. Niyama agraha, atyahara prayasastan prajalpa niyama agraha, laulam janasangast, sarabhi bhakti pranasat. So you should be very careful. If we are, because our only business is jato bhakti radhokhari, to increase our loving propensity for Krishna, adhokhaya, who is beyond the reach of our senses. Krishna's another name is adhokhaya, beyond the reach of senses. Anubhav. We can perceive Krishna is there, but not that by our senses we can touch, we can see, we can smell. That we shall do as we increase, as we purify our senses. Sevanmukhi jivbhav, not immediate. Just like Sanatana Goswami, he was talking with his deity. So, as we make advancement in spiritual consciousness, Krishna will talk with us directly. The deity will talk with him. There are many instances. In Vrindavan, there was Gopal, Sakhi Gopal. He has now gone to Odisha. He talked with his devotees and went with his devotee. So, Krishna is giving us chance to touch him, to see him, to smell him, to taste him by so many ways. This is called Archan Marg. And gradually, when we advance, it will be directly, just like we are directly talking. That will be possible. So, patiently, by following the regulative principles, sadhu marganugamanam, adu gurvasrayam. In the beginning, one has to accept the bona fide spiritual master, sadharma prichya, then inquiry from spiritual master, athata brahma jigyasa, jivasya tattva jigyasa. In this way, tad vidhi panipatena pariprasnena sevaya. Pariprasna, in this way, we shall have to make advancement, and gradually our dormant love of Krishna will be fully manifest. This is the way. Go on.
In the Nectar of Devotion teaches us how to stimulate our original love for Krishna and how to be situated in that position where we can enjoy our blissful life. In the primary stage, a child loves his parents, then his brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. This theme is the sum of substance of the Nectar of Devotion, which teaches us how to love Krishna in 5 different transcendental mellows.
Yes, the subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, basic principle, how to love Krishna in 5 primary rasas. Santaras, Sakharas, Dasaras, Santa Dasa, Sakha, Vatsalya, Manus. One.
Our loving propensity expands just as a vibration of light or air expands, but we do not know where it ends. The Nectar of Devotion teaches us the science of loving every one of the living entities perfectly by the easy method of loving Krishna. We have failed to create peace and harmony in human society, even by such great attempts as the United Nations, because we do not know the right method. The method is very simple, but one has to understand it with a cool head. The Nectar of Devotion teaches all men how to perform the simple and natural method of loving Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we learn how to love Krishna, then it is very easy to immediately and simultaneously love every living being.
Yes. Everyone in the human society is trying to establish love in the society, but it is being failed. The reason is that we are missing the central point. Just like from a point you can make a circle. What is called that? Compass, yes. The compass, you put the pointed part on the center, you can make a circle. And so, if I do not take the central point, I make my own point, then my circle will overlap your circle. There we will clash. But if the center is the same, I can draw one circle, you can draw another circle, none of these circles will overlap. So if taking Krishna as the center, nirbandhe Krishna sambandhe, if we relate our activities social activities, philanthropic activities, political activities, any religious activities, any activity. If you make center Krishna, then my circle, your circle, another circle will not overlap, but it will give different lights, Krishna being center. That point we are discussing in this morning from Srimad Bhagavatam. Atapanghi dijasresha varnasama vibhagas. Everyone is trying to make his own circle. Political, social, humanitarian, philosophical, scientific. That's all right. But Bhagavad says that make your circle perfect from the point of Krishna. Don't miss the point. Sanusthhitasya dharmasya samsiddhi haritosanam. Whatever you do, if you try to please Krishna, then your circle is perfect. Krishna must be center. Rupa Goswami says, Nidbande Krishna Sambandha. Krishna Sambandha, you can deal in politics. Then politics will be perfect. Krishna Sambandha, you can make circle of scientific knowledge. Then it will be perfect. Making center Krishna, either politics, sociology, philosophy, religion, whatever it may, it will be perfect. Jutta vairagam achat. Anasaktasya vishayan jatharam upajanjat. Just like we are using this microphone, this is material scientific advancement. Sometimes they criticize that you are not materialistic. Why you are using the modern appliances? Why you are flying on the aeroplane? So, practically, our vision is that everything is Krishna's and everything must be utilized for Krishna's service. That is our philosophy. Actually, it is so. This microphone is manufactured by Krishna's energy. Bhumi rapa analo vayu khangamana buddhirivacha. Prakriti bhinna me ashtadha. So, this metal portion or the rubber portion or any portion of this microphone is made of the 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air. So, Krishna says, they are my separated energy. So, all the separated energy, we are dovetailing with the service of Krishna. That we do not see that this matter is separate from Krishna. Actually, it is not so. When we see that matter is separate from Krishna, that is materialism. When we see the matter is energy of Krishna, that is not materialism, that is spiritualism. So it is our intellect, how we can utilize everything with Krishna. Nidbande Krishna Sambandhe Jukta Vairagamuchat. Anasaktasya Vishayan. If we utilize the same matter for our sense gratification, Visha, then it is material. The same flower, if I collect it for my sense gratification, this flower is material. The same flower, when I pick up for offering on the lotus feet of Krishna, this is spiritual. Then how the material thing transformed into spiritual? By the consciousness. Therefore, our propaganda is to raise the Krishna consciousness. Nitya Siddha Krishna Bhakti. That is our propaganda. As soon as we raise the consciousness to the platform of Krishna, then we become spiritualized. Nidbandhi Krishna Sambandhi Yukta Vairagam Uchyat. Who is talking? Nidbandhi Krishna Sambandhi Yukta Vairagam Uchyat. Just like Ramananda Rai. He was governor. He was governor of Madras. But he was one of the most confidential devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai were talking together, and Sri Ramananda Rai was feeling little shyness because he did not belong to the Brahmin community. He was governor, householder. So he thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking him question and he was answering. That means he was taking the superior position. So he felt little shyness. And when he was feeling such shyness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encouraged him, Kiba Vipra, Kiba Sudra, Nasikane Noy, Jai Krishna Tattvavetta Sai Guru. Encouraged him. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught the whole world how one can become exalted simply by learning the science of Krishna. Krishna Tattvavetta. Tattva means science. It doesn't matter whether he is a sannyasi or a grihastha or a Shudra or a Brahmin. It doesn't matter. These are all designations of the body. Spiritually, we are all one. Pandita Samadarshana. So, if we are on the spiritual platform means to understand the science of Krishna, the Supreme Spirit. Then, if we are conversant with the science of Krishna, then anyone who is such enlightened, he is perfect spiritual master. It doesn't matter what he is. Just like Haridas Thakur, he was born in Mohammedan family. Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, they were rejected from the Brahmin community and they took the Muslim name, Sakar Malik, David Khas. But it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's preaching that he collected all these exalted personalities, they are associates of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But the universality of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is such that anyone can become Krishna conscious and anyone can accept or be elevated to the exalted post of Goswami, Namacharya. Just like Haridas Thakur was made the Namacharya. And Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, although rejected by the Brahmin community, they were the exalted Goswami, 6 Goswami. Shirup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Sijiv Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath. Ei Chai Gosai Jar Tarmai Das. So our whole Vaishnava, Gauriya Vaishnava community are servants of all these Goswamis. So, it doesn't matter. Krishna also confirms, Manhi Partha Vapasita Jepishu Papa Jona. It doesn't matter one is born in lower family. It doesn't matter. Yes. Sadho Visadda Savonaya Kalpat. Even the dog eaters. In the beginning, we did not know who is the dog eater. Now, when we are traveling all over the water, we see so many dog eaters. Korea, China, Philippines, there are many dog eaters. So, in the Shastras, it is mentioned, even the dog eaters. Swado. Swa means dog, and other, one who eats. Sadho visadda savanaya kalpata. if one is elevated to Krishna consciousness, even if he is born in the family of dog eaters or he is a dog eater, of course he cannot remain dog eater. After coming to become a Vaishnava, he does not remain a dog eater. But dog eating is not disqualification. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's a specific contribution. Nothing is disqualification to come to Krishna consciousness, provided one is serious to come to this platform. Sadhopi Saddha. Srila Jiva Goswami has commented on this line, Sadhopi Saddha, that a dog eater, after becoming a devotee, immediately he becomes a qualified Brahmin, so much so that he becomes competent to become a priest in the matter of offering sacrifices. But Jiva Goswami says that even a person is born in Brahmin family, he awaits the qualification of performing sacrifices. He has to be initiated, he has to be advanced in education, so many things. But one dog eater, if he takes to Krishna consciousness, immediate, without waiting for reformatory method, he becomes immediately competent to act as priest in performing sacrifice. But we should not take advantage of this. Actually, we should become on the platform of Brahmin, qualified Vaishnava, so that others may not criticize. That is our special request. The chance is there, everyone. This path of Krishna consciousness is open to everyone. It does not matter. My position is very precarious. This morning, one man came to challenge me. How I am converting these mlechas and javanas to Vaishnava. Yes. But how I am converting, it is there in the Shastra. Kirata hunanda pulinda pukkasa bhira samba javana khasadaya jandri chupapa jadupasraya suddhanti. They become purified according to Shastra. Sri Sanatana Goswami gives direction. Tatha dikha vidhanena dijattam jayate nina. By dikha vidhan, by proper initiation, any person can attain the stage of dijattam. So our method is not against the Shastra. The Shastra vidhimussija. If we give up the direction of the Shastra, then we are faulty. If we do not deviate the injunctions of the Shastra, sadhu Shastra Guru Vakko, tinete koryaiko. In the Shastra it is sanctioned. My Guru Maharaj, he also ordered, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also ordered. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered that Prithivite ache jato nagaradik gram, so that means he wanted that all over the world, in every town, in every village, his mission should be propagated. And what is his mission? His mission is Jai Krishna Tattvavetta Sai Guru. That is his mission. So it is not that in Western countries one cannot become Vaishnava, one cannot become Guru. This is not. This such sort of remark is not tolerable from the Shastric point of view. It is completely, strictly to the Shastric point of view. And it is a glory for us that people in other countries outside India, they are accepting this cult of Krishna consciousness. But crippled people, they unnecessarily criticize this method, but we don't care for them. Thank you very much. So, next page.
Auspiciousness. Lord Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the reservoir of all rasas, or relationships, which are called neutrality, or passive adoration, servitorship, friendship, parenthood, conjugal love, comedy, compassion, fear, chivalry, ghastliness, wonder, and devastation. He is the supreme attractive form, and by his universal and transcendental attractive features, he has captivated all the gopis, headed by Taraka, Palika, Shyama, Lulita, and ultimately Srimati Radharani. Let his lordship's grace be on us, so that there may not be any hindrance in the execution of this duty of writing the nectar of devotion, impelled by his divine grace, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada.
So, Krishna is described as Akil Rasamrita Sindhu. So there are different rasas, 5 primary rasas. Rasa means the mellow or the taste which we enjoy in every activity. That is called rasa. Everything is done with some taste. Whatever you do, you must enjoy some taste out of it. So there are 12 rasas, out of which 5 rasas are primary and 7 rasas are secondary. They are described here. When Krishna was fighting with Bhishma, you know the story that Bhishma was criticized by Duryodhana, my dear grandfather, you are not fighting in full strength with Arjuna, because on the other side they are your grandsons and you have got very natural affection for them. So I think you are not fighting according to your strength, otherwise they would have been finished by this time. So, and Bhishma also could understand that, his criticism. And then he promised immediately that tomorrow I shall finish all these 5 brothers. Will that be happy for you? So, I am keeping 5 arrows to be used tomorrow for killing these 5 brothers. So, Duryodhana became doubtful. So, he requested grandfather, my dear grandfather, may I keep these 5 arrows with me so that you can take it from me tomorrow and use it? All right, you keep it. So Krishna could understand that now Bhishma has promised to kill the Pandavas tomorrow, and he has selected 5 arrows for them. So, he has to protect his devotee. Now, he asked Arjuna that Duryodhana sometimes promised to give you some benediction. Now it is the opportunity. You go there to Duryodhana, and he has kept 5 arrows very carefully. You take it there. So Arjuna went to Duryodhana, because after fighting in the evening they were friends. There was no enemy. One man can go to the other camp as friend, brothers. So when Arjuna arrived to Duryodhana, Duryodhana received him, that is Vedic etiquette. Arjuna, why you have come? You ask something from me, I am ready to give you. If you want the kingdom without fighting, if you have come for this purpose, I will give you. So Arjuna said, no, my dear brother, I have not come for that purpose. But you remember that you wanted to give me some benediction. So I have come for that.
Hare Krishna, Mother.
Hare Krishna, my obeisances to you all. Thank you very much for your wonderful Vaishnava qualities.
Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry that you came late, but we can start the class. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm looking for the text.
It's on the screen.
It's on the screen, all right. Still 1632. 1. I like to have it just if I want to move it in my own way.
Okay.
Oh, 1632. I don't know.
Yes.
One. Oh, let's see. Beg your pardon. $32. Okay. Hare Krishna, my obeisances to you all. Thank you very much for your wonderful interest in Krishna consciousness, and I beg your pardon for having arrived so late. I made a mess with the timings. So, since I guess you have already chanted and done everything.
Prabhupada did. You just chant and
Okay, so
then you go on with the class.
Yes, we go on the class. Devadatamimam vinam swara brahma vibhusitam murchayitva harikatam gayamanas charamyaham. Deva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. Datam, gift by. Imam, this. Vinam, a musical, I don't know this word, stringed instrument. Swara, singing meter. Brahma, transcendental. Vibhusitam, decorated with. Murchayitva, vibrating. Harikatam, transcendental message. Gayamana, singing constantly. Charami, do move. Aham, I. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And thus, this is Narada Muni speaking, I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called Veena, with transcendental sound, and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. Purport. The musical how you pronounce these words?
Instruments.
The musical stringed instrument.
Instruments, yes.
Okay, instrument. That is the word before, I don't know. It means that has strings. But anyway, called the Veena, which was handed to Narada by Lord Sri Krishna, is described in the Linga Purana, and this is confirmed by Srila Jiva Goswami. This transcendental instrument is identical with Lord Sri Krishna and Narada, because all of them, this transcendental instrument is identical with Lord Sri Krishna and Narada himself, because all of them are of the same transcendental category. So this means that Krishna, his pure devotee, and the instruments that the pure devotee uses in the service of the Lord are all of the same transcendental category. That's very important to notice. Sound vibrating by the instrument cannot be material, And therefore the glories and pastimes which are broadcast by the instrument of Narada are also transcendental, without a tinge of material inebriety. The 7 singing meters, namely Sa Sabja, Ri Rishabha, Ga Gandhara, Ma Madhyama, Pa Panchama, Dha Daivata, and Ni Nisada, are also transcendental and specifically meant for transcendental songs. The beauty of the Lord, see Naradev, is always fulfilling his obligation to the Lord for his gift of the instrument, and thus he is always engaged in singing his transcendental glories and is therefore infallible in his exalted position. Sorry, some globes are opening here, some messages I don't wish to have now.
That's funny because it's like
His transcendental glories and I lost where I was. As a pure devotee of the Lord, see Narada Dev.
that sounds like with that wording the way you said there, he's applied. It sounds like he just wants to officially be a part of ISKCON, but not necessarily associated with that.
Yeah.
No,
I read, and in this way, Krishna is, as a pure devotee of the Lord, Sri Narada Dev is always fulfilling his obligation to the Lord for his gift of the instrument. So here it's being said that because Narada Muni has received this valuable instrument from the hands of Sri Krishna himself, he feels so indebted that he's constantly using this gift, this present, in his service, because he feels very indebted to the Lord. Following in the footsteps of Srila Narada Muni, a self-realized soul in the material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, etc., in the service of the Lord by constantly singing the glories of the Lord as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Translation again. And thus I travel constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called a veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. Namah Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Siguru Parampara Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande. So this is my question. How may I serve you all? For one reason or another, I had the timings change, but we are going to do the best. And yesterday, because today we are reading about engaging all our time by chanting the transcendental message of the Lord, the glories of the Lord. So that's the life of a devotee, being always engaged in broadcasting the transcendental message of the Lord by talking about the Lord, by serving the Lord in different ways, like taking care of the deities, cooking, so many ways. Here is specifically expressed chanting, singing the transcendental message of the Lord. And yesterday, here in Spain, where I am settled at the present, we were invited to a television program in Madrid, the capital of Spain. And it is a program that is the second most attended in the whole country, but it's not best quality, is challenging. And they were willing to contrast two different kinds of groups. We, the devotees who went to the program as spiritualists, followers of spirituality, persons nowadays that are living a life totally against the principles of religion. No? It was very, very, very challenging. A friend who is engaged in drama, she is a dramatician, professional. She told me, Mahalakshmi, don't go. But we already had said yes. So this boy, we didn't know there was going to come a person who sings there. But we first start chanting and Mahamantra and some other mantras. And then they allow us, well, they put us, they more or less, we were forced to hear songs of young persons who sing. And it was really very degraded consciousness. It was in this, I don't know the style, this rap or that are talking very, very low topics. Of course, sex, and doesn't matter with whom, it doesn't matter with how many at the same time. It was such a horrible thing, you know. But by the Lord's mercy, everyone did the role. Devotee who is married, young lady, she said, this is inadmissible. This, it cannot be accepted. And her husband said, these songs have no meaning and it have no sense, are totally useless, don't give anything positive. So we were seeing the contrast of chanting the holy names that created such a beautiful atmosphere, and what is people nowadays chanting and what is the purpose of their singing is totally tamasic, totally tamasic. And when I heard her, of course, speaking like this is a challenging program. And I felt, well, if we only reject them, we are going to have a huge confrontation against this group, you know, and the listeners of this program. So I took another position. Of course, I am not a young married lady anymore. I am in the Vanaprastha. So I took in a more detached approach, meditating on Lord Chaitanya, who is the most compassionate even to the most fallen. I said, yes, meaning yes, what she says. Yet, we need to understand that everyone is chanting what we have within. And what we have within is what we are going to speak. We are going to chant. We are going to dream. But still, there is hope, even for persons who may have the lowest aspirations in life. No? So anyway, finally we came, the person who sings these songs was invited to come in, and we were shocked. We didn't know that he was going to come, and he heard us talking about him, his songs. But somehow or other, Krishna made the arrangements, and we ended having a nice exchange. So this is part of constantly singing the transcendental message of the Lord. My Lord, what do you want from me at this moment, at present? What can I do for you to serve you? And this boy was touched. And then they present us one, he wrote 4 lines of one of his songs, which was totally inadmissible, so dirty and horrible. And they asked us to change those words in a way that both us and this boy would agree to chant. And somehow or other, Krishna gives us some, I am not going to repeat what he was saying in the song, but we changed it, especially the last line. And we ended with a nice note. And he agreed, he chanted what we wrote, and we gave him the Bhagavad Gita. And I don't know, I felt that this boy has some hope, as I told him. Yes, he liked it, and he promised he would go to the temple to have prasadam. So this is challenges that we face in our life in Krishna consciousness. But if we keep focus in the chanting of the holy name and chanting the holy name and singing the transcendental message of the glories, about the glories of the Lord, it's not always saying Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, which yes, it is. But also being open, ready to face any source of circumstances, being firm that was very good because we were a big group, we were 5 of us. So the young married lady, she could be firm. And the person who is in a more renounced and supposedly more detached, position in life could speak gently to him. And then another boy gave him the present, no? So these are the challenges that we face in this life. And since everything is being unexpected for me, I would ask you if you have any questions about the verse if you have read it and you have looked at it during the week or whatever. If you have any questions, it's open.
Thank you, Mother, for your class. My question is, how did Krishna, in the purport, it mentioned that Krishna, Narada Muni, and the Vina are all the same with the Lord?
Yes, because Krishna is omnipotent. There is no difference between himself and his holy name and his pure devotee. We hear sometimes we get this question, who is more exalted? The Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the devotee Bhagavan? The devotee Bhagavata, the devotee who is preaching the glories. And they are all the same, because the Lord gives to his devotee all the potencies to perform whatever service he may have to perform. And because the devotee is only repeating the words of the Lord without changing the meaning, what the devotee speaks is as powerful as the Lord, because that's why Prabhupada called his Bhagavad Gita as it is, because he didn't bring his personal interpretation. He just repeated the words of the Lord. So we hear that the Lord, his holy name, and his paraphernalia, and his devotees are all identical, because everything is used in the service of the Lord. We hear this very often, that the Lord and the holy name are identical. Similarly, the instrument, the paraphernalia, all the paraphernalia that we are using in the service of the Lord, we know it is Balaram. Balaram stands as the paraphernalia of the Lord. His abode, his sitting place, Vyasasan, for instance. Everything in relation to the Lord is transcendental because he is omnipotent, and because there is nothing that he loves the most than his devotees. His devotee becomes as potent as the Lord. He says in Bhagavad Gita, inasmuch as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. I don't know if that's clear enough, or you want it.
Yes, thank you. But I was wondering how Krishna and his instrument used in serving him, like Narada's Vina, is the same quality with Krishna.
Yes.
But other things are not seen like that.
What?
Many other things are not regarded to be in the same category with Krishna.
Especially the Vina of Lord Narada Muni, because it was given personally by Krishna himself, it is. But all the paraphernalia we hear when we play Mridanga, we are told this is Balaram, because the paraphernalia of the Lord Balaram is Krishna himself, is the same Bhagavan, no? In the attitude of his elder brother, serving him. But serving him so much that he becomes the paraphernalia. So everything used in the service to the Lord is equal, the same potency as the Lord. It's Balaram. It's a manifestation of Lord Balaram.
Is it possible to elaborate on the 7 hymns that is mentioned in this paper? Prabhupada mentioned the 7 singing meters, namely Sa, Sajya, Shaba. What are these singing meters?
Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. As we have in Western countries, I don't know how you say in your language, Well, in our language, we say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. These are the meters, the singing meters. Hmm?
Thank you.
With these meters, all songs are composed. The basis, these meters are the root of all songs. All songs are based on this. Here are called meters. 7 singing meters. Whatever song we may look at it has all these meters. Organized in different varieties. And if my son would be here, he will talk about he would talk about this because he is learning to play the sitar and he loves all these topics, but that's much, this is how much I can say.
Thank you. We have, anybody has a question? Nataraj Prabhu, you are unmuted. Do you have a question? It's not there, but his mic is on. Okay, any other question from anybody? When there's no question, I will ask another question.
Good.
Mother, so we heard Nadabuni is saying on the paper that he received this. This was given to him by Krishna, by Krishna himself.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the reason his devotion was very fixed, and he travels all over the world preaching. But we devotees, Krishna have not given us anything personally.
Krishna has given us personally the mantra.
Can that be the reason why our faith is not like Narada Muni? Because Krishna gave this Vina directly to Narada,
personally.
but Krishna did not give us anything personally. So our faith is shaken. Can you speak on this?
Yes. Krishna has given us Srila Prabhupada. Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda predicted that in the future, my Senayor Bhakta will come. My Senayor Bhakta, and he will spread the chanting of the Mahamantra Hare Krishna all over the world, in all towns and in all villages. And this happened and it still keeps on happening. So the Senayor Bhakta, devotees, senior devotees in ISKCON, they clearly, we can see who has done this. Who has done? Srila Prabhupada. So Lord Chaitanya himself, personally, he says, I am going to send you my Senayor Bhakta. So we have Srila Prabhupada, and at present, we have, sometimes I say, oh, how much I would have liked to meet Srila Prabhupada in person. But nowadays, we have so many wonderful servants of Srila Prabhupada who are totally 100% dedicated in serving him with so much love and so much dedication. We cannot imagine how dedicated these personalities are. So we are equally lucky and fortunate as Prabhupada's disciples, because we have all that Prabhupada has given us. He has given us everything, and he has given us his devotees, and he has given us the chanting of the holy name with all the potencies coming directly from Lord Chaitanya himself. So Krishna has given us personally, is giving us personally the chanting of the holy name. There is no difference. There is no difference. Whether Krishna gives the Vina to Narada Muni or Srila Prabhupada or Srila Prabhupada devotee, giving us personally the chanting of the holy name. The devotee of the Lord and the Lord are identical as the name.
I myself, I want a personal gift from Krishna, like Narada Muni.
You want personally to receive it?
Yes.
You will. If you have such a strong desire, you will. He will come to you and he will bless you. It is said that Krishna is hankering he's so desperate and he's so much willing to see us coming back to the spiritual world that sometimes he says, where is my devotee gonna come? When is my devotee gonna come? He's like that, no? When is Kushadas gonna come? He's thinking about, oh, when is Kusha gonna come? Now he's gonna come. And he's looking at you. Now I am sending him this chance through this devotee, through this service to come. He's gonna come. And we don't come, like it has happened to me. I don't know why. I thought it was later, the class, and I thought, okay, after the japa, I'm going to prepare for the class because it's been a very busy week. But he's always waiting for us. So, and when we finally come, he embraces and we faint. So he will. It's a matter of desire. If we desire, Krishna will come, and he's coming in dreams sometimes to the devotees. Or he comes sometimes in a special darshan, whether public or private. Sometimes we hear devotees who had a very special exchange with the deities. There is a story. I think when I heard the story, I think there were no names given, no which temple given, or if there were, I don't remember. But I remember one of our preachers telling that she was once in a temple and there was a very good friend of her in the temple. And she told her that she's a cook. She's cooking and taking care of the deities. And one time she made a chutney, tomato chutney. And she didn't peel the tomatoes because it was maybe that she didn't have time, but she made a very nice cooking and very nice tomato chutney, and they served the plate to the Lord. And when she took the plates back from the altar, all the tomato peels were placed on a side of the plate. So that shocked her. This is something that happened. Then we hear other times a devotee in Mayapur who had been taking care of Tulasi Devi in Vancouver, in Canada, for many years. And she was such a devotee of Vrinda Devi, you know. She would have a small painting of Vrinda Devi, taking such good care of Vrinda of Tulsi Devi in Canada, which is snow, so cold, beautiful, huge tulasis. And she got cancer. And before that, she had been a book distributor. So she had given her life to Srila Prabhupada's mission completely. Before getting married, she was distributing books as anything. Then she got a family, she had kids. She was taking care of Tulasi in a wonderful, amazing way. Then when she was diagnosed with cancer, she decided, when in the last moments, to go to Mayapur. She went to Mayapur, and in Mayapur, devotees were taking care of her. A very good friend of mine from Spain was taking care of her. And when she was about to leave the body, of course, the devotees taking care, they didn't know when the moment was going to happen. But she was lying down in her bed, and all of a sudden she opens her eyes, looks to the front. She was lying down, and she says, Vrinda. And the devotees told her, yes, your painting of Vrinda Devi is there. And she said, no, the real Vrinda has come. And she left the body. So if we want to see the Lord so madly, and Krishna giving us his mercy, we'll get it. Another Vaishnava preacher of our gurus gives an example. He says, what is there in the Bhagavatam? What does need a person to inherit the property of his father? What does a son need to inherit the property of his father? That's my question to you, Kusha, Prabhu.
What a son needs.
He has to be alive.
Property of his father.
Yes, to be alive.
Yeah.
To be a good son. So
Be
if
a good boy. Good
yeah,
boy.
Good boy. So you want Krishna to give you his mercy as an embrace, as a vina, as a realization, whatever way you may want, he will give you. Is guarantee. We need only to remain good followers of Srila Prabhupada, Guru and Gauranga, and it will happen.
Okay, any other question from anybody?
Radhakund, what do you say?
Larakund, Kavekanapu, okay.
It's not forceful. I just saw her face.
One question from Kavekanapu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much. I love your class, very practical and very up to heart, you know? Very lively also. My question is that you mentioned of all these great devotees who have dedicated all their life to Srila Prabhupada mission, like the person in Vancouver who was spent all her life taking care of Tosi and this, and one distributing books. What about devotees who are not in chance to be fully dedicated like that? Maybe devotees who are you know, in the outside world doing their normal regular office work or duties. How can they achieve the same result of those devotees who are fully dedicated to the mission?
Hare Krishna, thank you for your question. This mercy is available for all of us, but we need to remain Prabhupada's child, Prabhupada's pet, Prabhupada's dog. We may have to work in this world, but we keep on firm. Of course, we follow the 4 regulative principles, we chant 16 rounds, we study Prabhupada's books, and we make sure that we have some service, big or small. I mean, taking care of Tulsi, yes, we could say, I know because I am taking Tulsi of Tulsi here, but it's not it's a very personal service. But it doesn't drive me mad the whole day. I am not 24 hours a day with Tulsi, although it makes me think upon her quite much because I am always concerned, oh, what about that dark spot in that leaf and things like that. No, but we need to have some service, some special service, some personal service that we offer to the Lord and that we keep it along the day, no? And it can be our family. What can I do for my family to become nice devotees? What can we do? So keep them in the heart and see them. When after the interview, we talked with the singer. I don't remember his professional name. I got just his Western name. Danny is his name. So I was talking with him and we made friends. I look at him, it was horrible, his music, I can't swear. But I thought, well, this is Krishna's child. This boy is Krishna's child. And his songs is just showing how frustrated he is. Although he was speaking, no, you may not understand the meaning of what we are expressing, as if he was talking philosophy. For him, it was a philosophy. His style of life degraded, no? But I was keeping on thinking, this is Krishna's servant, very dear to Krishna. And we contacted, we made friendship. He promised he would go to the temple. I don't know if life is going to allow him. So whatever our circumstances, remember Krishna. Krishna is within the heart of everyone, so we can see him there in the persons who are around us and see if we are in work, how can I behave in a way that these persons, if not talking to Krishna, about Krishna, because we may not, we didn't talk so much about Krishna there besides chanting at the beginning, but a behavior that is going to be friendly for them. And then they will come to think, oh, this person is so nice. It's so peaceful. Of course, we are peaceful because we see Krishna in the heart of everyone. There is Krishna. My beloved Lord is there. So please guide me. How can I deal with these persons in this situation? But just being a nice person. What I mean is, whatever we may have to do, even if we have to spend 10 hours in a job with nasty persons, our behavior is so nice because Krishna is in our heart and because Krishna is in the heart of everyone. So we remember this. I promise, I had to remind myself constantly yesterday, these persons are Krishna's dear servants. It was hard. It was very hard. I had never heard these songs. The young lady, she had heard those songs because she's been in the movement maybe for less time. I don't know how long. But I had never heard those songs in my life. When I joined, it was the 79, 80. So in those, at that time, there were not these kind of songs. And the videos were even worse. So, but we kept focus. Krishna, what do you want from me in this situation? Please inspire me. And the exchange was good. And we could feel, all of us, that they were glad. They said, you've been so respectful. Nobody comes here and behaves in such a respectful way as you. Although the lady told, this is garbage, it's unacceptable. No. So just remember Krishna. And please, if you can, do some personal service to the Lord. And when we read, here in New Raya Mandala, we have in the Gora Arctic so many kids. We have 24 kids. So, and it's not like the kids in Mayapur, they are wonderful, but the behavior is not so organized, no? So they are very natural, no? Very. And when we have to chant there, I remember these kids are Krishna's kids. And Krishna is so naughty, so why I should feel disturbed by their naughtiness? No. So whatever the situation, remember Krishna. Bring our reading. I was reading about Krishna pulling the tails of the calves, and the calves getting disturbed and running all around the courtyard, and Krishna smearing the dust of Vrindavan in his body, and the ladies laughing at the pastimes. No, so Krishna is very mischievous. So when I look at the boys and the children in our Gora Arctic, I say, okay, Krishna is so mischievous. So somehow or other, remember Krishna. By reading about Krishna, we must follow the four regulative principles, eat only Krishna prasadam, so offer Krishna prasadam with love from within the heart, and read Prabhupada's books, and remember Prabhupada's books in our daily life, like with the kids in the Gora Arctic, like with these very, very, very degraded persons in the TV studio, and in every moment of our life. And remembering Krishna is the sun, the light of the sun. Krishna is the water. Some noise. I like that. When I walk chanting japa, I remember I chant japa and I experience the wind, and of purified agents, I am the wind. So like that, whatever the circumstance we may face, remember Krishna somehow or other. And please take one personal service for Prabhupada's mission, whatever it may be, making giwis or whatever.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please. Sadev, please.
Hare Krishna. Sahadev Prabhu.
Thank you so much for speaking.
I cannot hear you clearly.
Okay.
Try
Thank you
again.
so much for speaking to us.
What?
The line is breaking.
Can you hear
Yes.
me?
Maybe you can type. Maybe you can type it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see this. Okay, I was saying thank you so much for speaking to us. Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, good. Well, I really appreciate your class. And I also appreciate you in the sense that you're from Spain. My I love soccer, which is football.
Okay.
And the coach of my team is from Spain.
Oh.
So that, yeah.
What is his name?
Pep Guardiola.
Pep. Okay.
Yes, Pep Guardiola.
So he's from, I know from which part of Spain he is by his name.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, my question is somewhere in the purport, Srila Prabhupada was saying that all these musical instruments are meant to be used for transcendental purposes.
Yes.
And like you were describing your experience in the studio with this Kami singing, like not so much beautiful words, but we have other musicians who sing songs that give like encouragement, like when somebody is down, they sing some songs to bring their spirits up. Like maybe somebody loses a loved one, they have songs they sing to bring somebody's spirit up.
But
they are not transcendental.
Not transcendental, okay.
They are not transcendental, but it helps bring the people out of their anxiety, their sadness, or like their moroseness to maybe a better, higher level. Do such people also have like karmic reactions because they were not using their instruments and their words to glorify the Supreme Lord directly? Thank you.
Well, thank you for your question. Here it says, let me see if I find it. Sound vibrated by the instrument cannot be material, and therefore the glories and pastimes which are broadcasted by the instrument of Narada are also transcendental. I understand from here that sound is not material. Sound in itself is not material. What makes things material or spiritual is the intention, our consciousness with which we utter sound. So, of course, there are persons engaged in activities that help people not to suffer so much. So there are persons who are in the mode of goodness, sometimes even in mode of ignorance and trying to help people from the mode of ignorance. I mean, there are so many mixtures how the three modes of material nature can be mixed and related one with each other. But to reach this stage of transcendence and spiritual sound, the consciousness has to be observed. Why are we chanting? What are we chanting? With which intention are we chanting? So persons who are engaged in the mode of goodness, helping others to go by a very hard moment, they are doing pious activities, maybe. I need more details of these activities to know, but let's just imagine that they are behaving, helping people to not to suffer. But all this is within the realm of material existence. So whatever karma we are performing, whether it is pious or impious, whether it is to broadcast the miseries of sex life like this boy is doing, totally in ignorance, dark, deep, or is the sound of our songs is to help a person not to suffer, this is goodness, and the other is tama. Some degree of sattva, and I don't know how much degree of tamas, but both good and bad actions in this world bind us to the repeated cycle of birth and death, repeatedly. So, because persons in goodness, they are not trying to please God, or they may think, but what pleases God is to bring the persons in contact with Him. Helping them not to suffer is not connecting them to God. It's helping their body and their minds not to suffer. But it's not transcendental. Transcendental activities are, as it is being explained here, broadcasting, he's in the verse, constantly singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord. This is transcendental. This is beyond goodness. This is sattva guna, beyond the modes of material nature. The person who were the karmi yogis, those who are doing karma yoga, they are worshiping the Lord. They are following the rules and regulations in the scriptures. Why? Because they want to be happy. They want next life to be better quality, to even maybe racing over higher planetary systems, having beauty, riches, knowledge. But this is still material. Yes, they are following the rules and regulations of the scriptures, but because they want something from the Lord. They want to be happy. They want to be good. Look how good I am. No? Like that, those who are doing jnana yoga, they are doing austerities and they are studying the scripture because they want to understand God with their limited capacity. No? They may reach to understand the Lord in the heart, no? But they cannot go beyond that. They cannot reach transcendence, no? Because they still want to be knowledgeable. Oh, look how knowledgeable and detached I am. And only bhakti can grant the person transcendence, transcendental knowledge. So if we really want to help a person who is suffering, of course, if I try to be, I don't know if it is your circumstance, but if you, of the circumstance of this person, if a devotee has a family member who are not into Krishna consciousness, and if that person is gonna be against if we chant Hare Krishna. So we may not chant Hare Krishna, and we may try to free this family member, to help him not to suffer so much. And we may even chant a song which has nothing to do with Krishna, but why we are doing it? Because we want the persons not to go against Krishna, but not because it is the best thing. No. A person who chants these songs without any connection to Krishna, they are just in goodness, some degree of goodness. And if a devotee does that, he will do it for the to not cause these persons who don't want to hear about Krishna to be offensive. So if I would be in this situation, I would probably chant a peace song, a peaceful song. No, if I would be from Africa, maybe there, I don't know your culture. Maybe you have songs for raising the spirits into higher consciousness, no? To help the person not to feel pain, some good songs, no? But what was your question again? So what kind of activity are those persons doing? What is for them that?
No, I was saying whether like musicians who do not compose transcendental songs, whether they have some bad karma, because
yes,
okay,
yes, everything which is done disconnected from the supreme personality of Godhead has some consequence through that we are going to have to suffer, whether it may be good or bad. If we do pious activities, we will have to come back as helping others not to suffer with songs or whatever. We will have to come back to this material world to enjoy the results of our good, so-called good activities. And if we do sinful activities, we'll have to come back to this material world to suffer the reactions of our impious activities. So everything which is not connected to Krishna, to God, whether good or bad, there is karma, a reaction that we have to pay.
Thank you, Mother. Our next question is from Ganga Prasad Prabhu.
Yes.
Ganga Prasad, yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you very much for blessing our platform and giving such a wonderful, inspiring lecture. I have a little need of clarification for understanding purpose. From the last portion of the purpose, it is mentioned that following in the footsteps of Sri Narada, a self-realized soul in the material world should also properly use the sound meters, namely Saregamapa, in the service of the Lord by constantly singing the glories of the Lord as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
And what is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita is Satatan Kitayan Tomam, always chanting my glories.
Yes.
So I need to understand Saregamapa is in Satatan Kitayan Tomam.
Always chanting my glories. When we chant, singing, we are vibrating these sounds. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa. Whatever song we may be singing, we are using these meters in different combinations. So what it means, what I understand, what this sentence means is that whatever we may vibrate, because singing is not only music. When we are talking, we are also vibrating these sounds in our talk. So whatever we sing and whatever we talk should be used in the service of the Lord constantly, constantly. Whenever we pronounce some sound vibration, it has to be used in the service of the Lord. Even if we ask, can you please give me the salt? Has to be service of the Lord. So Prabhupada, and we hear many times, that the devotee should be 24 hours a day engaged in Krishna's service, 24 hours a day. So sometimes I meditate upon this. How can I be 24 hours a day engaged in serving Krishna? So my trick in my attempts to do that, to be engaged 24 hours a day in the service of Krishna, is that every moment that I move from one service to another, or from one activity to the next, is, okay, Krishna, due to my consciousness and my capacity to understand you, I am not seeing you face to face constantly in your three-banded form of Syama Sundar, Krishna. Here he is. But my desire is to be engaged always in your service. If I could see you face to face 24 hours a day, no doubt I could be peaceful. I am engaged in your service. You tell me move right, I move right. You tell me move left, I move left. But I have not reached that stage myself. But my desire is that, as Kusha Prabhu was saying, he wants to be given the instrument to serve Krishna. From Krishna himself, he wants to receive it. So we do it. How? Krishna, now I'm gonna close my laptop and I'm gonna move towards the library to prepare for an exam tomorrow. So Krishna, please engage me in your service. I cannot see you. I cannot remember you 24 hours a day, by my intention from the moment I'll come out from this room to go to the next is to please you. So I am in your hands. Do with me what you want. I want to be Krishna conscious. I'm still far from you, but I, like Kusha Prabhu, I want to receive your mercy. Please engage me in your mercy. And then we come out from the library and we go for prasadam. Please, Krishna, allow me to remember you when I am going to be honoring this wonderful prasadam. Allow me to have nice exchanges with the devotees. Please engage me in your service. So in this way, because this is using properly sound in the service of the Lord, by remembering when thoughts are always, I am not an expert in that, but thoughts also create sound, a space, movement, something create something. I am not expert on that, but the soul is constantly active. There is no a moment that we are not active. Even when we are dreaming, we are breathing, no? The bellow of the blacksmith. So if we put here some machine to capture the sound of our breathing, we are also creating sound. So this is the way to follow the steps of Srila Narada Muni, who is a self-realized soul, and use our singing, because the breathing of our body is also singing. There is sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, ni, sa there. Some mixture of those sounds. So if our desires, my desire, Krishna, is please allow me to serve you every moment, every time in my life. No? So in our capacity, might be big or might be very small, like the spider or squirrel in Ramachandra's pastime, or as Hanuman. It may be big or might be small, but it's all I have for you. And in this way, we are constantly singing the glories of the Lord, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. So
Thank you,
my
Mother.
trick is this. My trick is this, because I cannot say I am 24 hours a day conscious, Krishna conscious, but every time I move from one activity to the next, or if I go to bed, my Lord, this body is yours, is your property, it has to be rested, otherwise tomorrow I won't work properly. So allow this rest to be used in your service. And like that, this is my trick that I share with you today. For that.
Thank you very much for your wonderful class.
Thank you very much.
We request all devotees to kindly unmute yourselves. And let's chant Hare Krishna to Mother for coming. We look forward for her next class in the future.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama
Rama,
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. Wow.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare